You look like a tennis pro. Like you like coach like kids that have promise for $800 an
I'm
hour.
terrible at tennis. Do you play?
It's weird to me that more people don't get hurt playing tennis because it's like for as many older people that play it, it seems like it's a lot of hard starts and stops and like back like weird
Yeah, I
motions.
feel like shoulders are just going to get injured playing that game.
Yeah.
I think obviously that's probably why pickleball is so popular now.
I heard people get effed up playing pickleball.
Really?
Yes.
What? What kind of pickleball are they
80.
playing?
Well, we are going to wait and talk about this because Corinne's family is
Oh
like
yeah.
balls deep in pickleball. Yes. Yes. All right.
Do they have a
Well,
court?
We did, yes.
Yeah.
But now they moved, yeah.
Oh.
no.
Like we had our own court, now they have like a community court.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sure you're hating that. Sharing space with the proletariats. You're like, I can smell their second job on them. All right. You ready? All right. What up? And welcome to Daytime Talk After Dark. My name is Al Jackson, but that is unimportant. What is important but is that I am joined by our wonderful executive producer, Michael Dean.
Hey guys, how's it going?
All
Hey,
right.
Al.
That's good. Michael Dean, good start.
So glad to be here.
You look like you reacted the way like if somebody busts in your bedroom and you're not watching porn, but you were thinking about doing it, and you just feel like they could read your thoughts. You're like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Let's go.
let's
I
do
already
this.
cleaned that. Yeah." Michael Dean, you have another microphone there. Are you planning to talk for two people, or do we
yeah.
have a special guest?
We do have a special guest, and
Yes.
she is just waiting in the wings.
Yes.
And we can't wait to have Corinne back on.
Yes. Yeah. We can announce her.
Did I?
It's
yeah.
not Beyonce. She's
Okay.
my Beyonce. Yeah, she is. She's my white Beyonce. I'm gonna make sure I get her canceled. She makes me call her that. Yes, my girl Corinne Kaplan, where we did over 200 episodes of My Safe Word Is More, and really one of my bestest friends in the world, one of my favorite people, will be here. I will say this as a side note. My girl Sarah, we cut all of a lot of the clips from Daytime Talk and from our old podcast, and nobody makes my girl laugh more than Corinne. Like she cuts them and she laughs at them every time she cuts it down. So yeah, she just you got a lot of fans in this world and right here in this room. But let's get started, Michael Dean, because we got to talk about the. I don't want to like Corinne's one of those people. I don't want to sully her by talking about like horrible stuff. I like talking fun stuff with her. So let's get the way of the world out of the way.
Yeah.
And then we'll get it going. First of all, shout out Gabriel Garcia. I appreciate the shout out. Gabriel, Erica's first of all, Tori landed. The
Yeah,
Eagle has landed.
she's in
Tori's
DC.
back stateside.
Yeah, and she's testing negative
Yes.
for COVID. Just
For personality. That's what she's testing. Like, no, Tori is back. I'm so excited. I'm already bullying my sister, and she's not even here yet. Tori, I hope you're watching. I love you, girl. I'm glad you're back. Glad you're feeling better.
yeah, I'm excited to see her. I want to hear all about her trip.
Yes.
Hopefully, she's got a good story or two.
Yes, and I got pictures from that story as well.
Oh, so you already know?
Oh, yes. I have pictures that she took, I'm assuming, back before, the diagnosis of the COVIDs. But yeah, even when I was on the road in Seattle, shout out to Bainbridge Island. Had a great time in Seattle this last weekend. Me and my girl Sar went up there, had two shows, one in Bainbridge Island. Had a great time at that show. Missed the ferry
Oh,
coming back.
so did you have to stay there?
We had to stay there. The next ferry didn't leave till like 2 a.m.
Oh no.
So me, my girl, and the other two comedians, we just kind of killed time. But we had a fantastic time.
Can I ask
Yes.
who's on a 2 a.m. ferry?
I'm assuming people that work on the island because Bainbridge Island it seemed like it was very close to like, I'm not saying Star Island in Miami, but
Oh.
there was not a home on Zillow that was under $1 million. It was kind of those, how like when you go up to Vail.
Yeah.
I remember I did the comedy festival, and they were like, "What time are you going to arrive?" And I was like, "I'll be there between 7:30 and 8." And they were like, "Oh, that's a late check-in." And I was like, "What?" And I get there, and my key is on the desk, and there's just a sign welcoming me because these rich communities, ain't nobody out. One of the comics on the show, this shout out to Zanae, she was so funny. She wanted to get a slice of pizza before our 9 o'clock show.
Yeah. Oh, and it
and
shut
the
down.
pizza place was like, we shut the ovens at 8 o'clock on a Friday night.
What?
Because rich people are like, we don't need to be out partying with y'all, and we don't want you over here partying.
But
this is not a party
Rich
area.
people don't get hungry watching, like,
I think like these are
TV
people that
late at
might have
night?
chefs and
Oh.
definitely have like those fire ovens.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I don't know what is with rich people that they want to go all the way back to the origination of how we cook food. But yeah, shout out to them. And then I had a fun show in Renton, Washington on Saturday night. Had a great time there. Saw a good friend of mine, my boy Mike. He's a documentarian. He has a great documentary on Netflix called At All Costs. It's about AAU basketball, but you'll like it. So check him out and give my boy Mike Nichols a shout out. Good to see him and his 2 beautiful babies. But let's get to it, Michael Dean. Let's talk about what's going on in this here world.
Well, so, we've been talking about Charlie Kirk for the past few days. And I hate that we have to start with this again, but the conversation is continuing. This is, a really big deal. And there are lots of people getting fired for their personal comments outside of work about his death, his assassination, and they're getting fired. So they gave some examples. There's a Phoenix Sports fellow who he deleted his post that said refusing to mourn a life devoted to that cause. Refusing to mourn a life to that cause, devoted to that cause, is not the same thing as celebrating gun violence. Not a great sentence.
He got deleted for a poorly worded tweet. That's even worse. What if you got fired for a tweet and it wasn't capitalized and it was the wrong tense?
Yeah. Matthew Dodd, of course, from MSNBC. There was someone from Middle Tennessee State University that was a university employee that was fired. NASDAQ apparently fired one of its employee. The U.S. Secret Service said that it placed an agent who had expressed negative opinions about Kirk on leave. And then we also have United Airlines telling CBS News that it took action against employees, multiple. And also we have a WashPo opinion writer, Karen Ataya. I believe that's how you say her name. After she posted on social media about gun violence and a radical doubled standard.
Okay, so an opinion writer got fired from the Washington Post for having an opinion.
Yeah, a personal opinion on her personal social media.
Oh, it wasn't even in the Washington
No,
Post?
no. None of these things happened during work hours. These were all, not during work that then cost them their job.
That is, I've seen some bumper stickers that sounded worse than what you just said. Honestly, this is very problematic for a number of reasons, Michael Dean. One, you have obviously freedom of speech being trampled on. And I thought about this before I came on because I was like, I remember that there were people that got fired for George Floyd, but what they were doing was reenacting the knee on the neck, like a wife would lay down and the husband would. Yes, disgusting, gruesome. Nobody is saying, I am glad Charlie Kirk died. I think that could be, whether it's a private or public situation, a thing where you can say wishing death upon anybody is something I don't want on this company. Saying an opinion, because it's so interesting that people that love Charlie Kirk for being steadfast in his beliefs that were controversial. Is that up for debate? I don't think so. I don't even think he would say that. He was going around to universities saying controversial things, and people either debating people that either vehemently agreed or vehemently disagreed with him.
Yeah.
So those people that disagree with him coming out and saying, I didn't want this man to die. That makes me sad. We should address gun violence, but I'm not going to mourn somebody that I felt was constantly injecting negativity in this world. Not saying that you're not going to mourn for somebody is not a fireable offense.
I think the most interesting thing about this is that I think it has less to do with the opinions expressed and what the people said, and it has much more to do about these companies being in fear for retribution for not doing something about it.
Right. And Julia said no opinion unless it's a MAGA opinion. And it's like, it's very interesting, Julia, that when George Floyd was killed, when Sandra Bland was killed, when Trayvon Martin, who was killed by a civilian for leaving having the nerve to have his
Right,
hood up
right.
and buying Skittles, there were all kinds of opinions, calling him a thug, calling her, we go back into these people's past. Why do we know so much about George Floyd's drug use? Because
Right.
that was allowed to be out there, because that was to seed the ground, to be fodder for the reason of like, well, he may have been killed by the police, but he was a bad guy. He was probably going to rob you. So you should, I'm not saying he should have died, but there's a reason why they let all of this negative information flow about people that were killed by people that are paid by the state. And none of those people were fired, as far as I know. There were people reenacting the chokehold that killed the young kid here in Denver, who I think Elijah McClain.
I thought he died, I believe, from ketamine.
Right, but they were
I think they did do a hold on
cops
him.
that injected it were suspended. I don't know if they were fired, but they were reenacting the motion of him. Elijah McClain, not only does he share the name of my son, but he's on the spectrum. So is my son. Don't forget, for his memorial, when they all got together in the park to play, the police came and broke that up. So it's what I think we're seeing, and what bothers me the most about all of this is that we're seeing an outweighted opinion on one side. MAGA can say whatever they want, and I traffic in talking to a lot of people of color, a lot of people on the left and the right, and people on the left are not calling for their jobs when people say really horrible, awful things. Like, we'll get to Brian Kilmeade. He was able to say, not to step on that story, that homeless people should be killed. Executed.
Yeah.
He did not lose his job for that. He just gave an apology, and no one ever discussed it again. But here we're having people. We saw Colin Kaepernick's career end for taking a stance against violence against black men, as well as Eric Davis. He was another all-pro football player that also did that with Colin Kaepernick. They lost their livelihoods. John Carlos, and I forget the other sprinter that gave the black fist at the Olympics. I forgot. Maybe I was 78. I don't know. I wasn't alive. I'm not that old. But they were ostracized and basically died penniless.
In 1968.
68, just like I said. People have lost their job for standing up for what they believe. Muhammad Ali. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes, he did not want to go to war.
Right.
Ahmaud Arbery. Exactly. He was killed, and the only reason they caught his killers was because they sent the tape in to the FBI's, to the police, because they thought that would exonerate them.
Well, Justme's got it right. Posting controversial opinions and comments on social media puts a target on your back. And
I thought that was what social media was for.
Right. And, obviously controversial or even mean-spirited or all these comments actually get more engagement, because of the algorithms, because people like to argue with them. And so they're almost encouraged.
That's why Truth Social didn't work with Trump and his people, is because making a Twitter or whatever that's just your people is not going to, it's just going to be an echo chamber.
Right.
I need you to say, I think we should host the show at 6. I need to say, no, Michael Dean, you're stupid. We should do it at 7. We go back and forth.
Right.
That generates 40 comments. That draws eyeballs. So it's so weird that they want everything to just be one unified voice, but it weirdly works against the social media platforms that they seek to.
Unfortunately, my thing about this is it definitely feels like an impingement on the First Amendment and free speech, but companies are legally allowed to do this because, they have at-will contracts or there's laws in the states that allow them to do it. And there's all these morality clauses that, require or have clauses that require people to be outstanding or upstanding citizens, even when they're not on work, and it outlines, behavior that is against their policies, and companies' policies. But, so therefore it's, might be legal, but it does feel like an infringement. And I also think it's a bit of a double standard. Now, I do want to say that there's lots of people who got fired because of, espousing certain racial or, racist or homophobic or, things online. I don't think the focus is as great. Like, I don't think companies are going through and like searching people's social media, but if it gets flagged by, someone at the company and brought to the attention, that type of thing. But this seems a little different. And I think it all has to do with who's holding the reins of power. Exactly. And the type of damage that they have no problem inflicting, there's law firms, universities, all these things who are just lining up to hand over a check and ask, what can we do to make it so that it's okay to continue operating our business?
Right. And it just shows you, like Wu-Tang said, cash rules everything around me, and people are willing to bend the knee. That's why I told Erica years ago on DBL, do not get it confused when she was like, well, Target is supposed to be an ally. It's like, Target is a company.
Right.
They have no emotion. And we saw how quickly they rolled back their DEI mandates after Trump got elected. So I will say this, and we will take a cleansing breath after this.
Let's move on.
I do want
it hasn't been 30 minutes, Corinne.
We're coming to you right now, Corinne. I will say this, as I was talking to my friend John Vargas today. Let me not said his name, but I will just say this. He told me that he heard from somebody. If you are fired from your job for these comments, what you can say is that it's against my religion to condone comments like that, because then it becomes you were fired for a religious belief, and that is illegal. So if you are subject, or you know somebody, spread the word. You say that the comments by Charlie Kirk are against your religion, and that will insulate you from being fired, because they don't want that smoke. But there's some smoke I do want, and that smoke smells like Mountain Dew berries and good hair care.
We're going to do a little do-si-do.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll move down.
Corinne, you come sit over here. Girl, I missed you. What's up, baby girl?
Yo.
All right.
I kept that spot really warm. I'm sorry.
Michael Dean, before we started the show, Corinne, he was sitting on a bag of sugary gummy worms, and he goes, do you want these? And then, because I have no dignity, I was like, yes. And he goes, they're warm. I was sitting on them. So I just think, like, Michael Dean's just warming up everything today.
Yeah.
Corinne, what's up, girl?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm pretty good.
All right. You were traveling today?
I mean, if you want to call it that. I had to go to Cheyenne, Wyoming, which we are all currently in Denver. It's like an hour and 40 minutes away.
Mm-hmm. I believe the owner of the studio, Nick. Are you from Cheyenne or outside of Cheyenne? Outside Cheyenne. All right. What's Cheyenne like?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading the welcome back. Look, everyone's
excited,
so nice.
You're like family that's like, you need to just go ahead and just be one of us.
I just want to say that I understand that conceptually, like, Erica and Tori are both people that will sit here and give like very like, dedicated commentary and impassioned viewpoints, and I am not that person. So I'm not the best stand-in from that perspective.
I've always been so jealous of you for that, because you focus on what is important to you. It's just like certain weeks you're like, I don't want to talk about, or every week you're like, I don't want to talk about politics. But then I said, there is a new flavor of Girl Scout cookies, and you exploded with the word explore Morris and went down. So I'd rather that. So I'm curious to know what's going on in your world. What are your thoughts?
Well, okay. I just think this is like pertinent to your audience. I had been dating somebody, and I didn't hear from him this weekend. Like, he was sort of like, kind of like.
Were you supposed to hear from him?
No, he told me what he was doing, and like we talked, but like I fully crashed out, and I went.
Did you text him?
No, I went directly to Erica. So what your viewers might not know is Erica and I live very close to each other. So I spent a lot of time as the third wheel to her and her husband. And I was like, I called her immediately, and I was like, things are not good, and she fully walked me off that ledge.
Oh, that's
she
her
was
job.
Like, yeah, she's like, you are creating a narrative that doesn't exist. So like, I just want to say that I get her in real life, like in that way, and I'm very, very lucky. But she sort of, I was in. I put on my 12-pound weighted vest, and I was marching around our neighborhood, and I was all fired up.
And for people that don't know, Corinne will just go out and walk, and I'm not talking about. I'm sure you guys go out and walk night owls because you're normal. But Corinne will go out for a couple-mile walk hours after having major surgery.
Yeah.
Remember that? Corinne, why don't you tell the people about one of your scenic walks?
Well, so I had to have a hysterectomy this summer, and I know, why does everyone react like that? Actually, I lost 1.5 pounds from the hysterectomy, the uterus. That's how much it weighed. But the doctor told me, like, post-surgery, she's like, you're going to be really down and out. One of the things that really helps, especially like after the anesthesia, and they pump you full of like a gas that can't escape like normal ways, and it's so that they can see everything internally. It's just something they do during surgery. So she was like, it's really important that you walk, and then they put you have to wear like compression socks because they're so worried that you're going to like rot on the couch for 6 weeks. So I just was like, oh, Okay. So I get the second day, I get my mother out and I'm like, we're going to go for a long walk. And she's like, we'll just go for as long as I said. I needed my mom to come with me because God forbid there are a lot of dogs in our neighborhood. And if a dog isn't on a leash and it jumped on me, like I had full stitches, you know, in my abdomen. So I was like, you're just like my bodyguard during this walk. Well,
Your 74-year-old mother.
yeah, I make her. And she was like, I'm tired. So we walked for 4.2 miles. When I got home, I began internally bleeding. And I called my...
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I knew that because if you internally bleed, there's all this black and blue that shouldn't be there because it's the blood.
Yeah.
So like I had to
Do
call...
they say this in like the post-op, like maybe don't do that?
They encourage you to take short walks. When I called the doctor, I was like, look, I went for a walk and and I was like really like something was very wrong. And she was like, how far did you walk? And I was like, I just take my phone, the health app, and I'm like 4.2 miles. And she was like, what? What did you just say? And I was like, yeah. I mean, I walked. You said short walks. That's a short walk to me.
I like that
know?
the nurse is reacting like your stepmom after you told her you took the car and totaled it.
The actual doctor was like, I have never in the history of this practice had to explain a short walk to someone. I meant you should walk around the island in your kitchen every few minutes. That's what I meant. And I was like, well, that was unclear. So now what do I do? So yeah, I like to go for walks. But anyways, I also spin out. And I thought what he was going to say is, and I also never have a consistent boyfriend. So anyways.
Would you say that Erica
Is my
made
voice-
it possible for you to continue to have
Yeah.
a man? What would
In this case, yes.
What would have Corinne done had Erica not stepped in and walked you off that ledge? And everybody needs to know whatever she's about to say is not an exaggeration. She doesn't know what that is. This is just what she would do. So what would you have done?
My inclination was to delete every photo of him on my phone and then delete his number. I would give his number to my brother. That's where I keep all the numbers I delete so that I can't contact him. And that would be it. I mean, I was just going to like try and leave with my dignity.
Because he had the nerve to have weekend plans.
Well, so so she was like, this is what I'm trying to explain to your listeners, that like, not only is she great in TV, like, see, Marquita saying we all need an Erik in our lives.
Yes.
I tell her she's my oracle because she'll tell me, she goes, I have a really good feeling about this guy, Corinne. And I will just believe her. Like, she's Miss Cleo. Like,
Right.
she's not met him, but like, I'll just buy whatever she's selling because she's my oracle. So anyway.
Well, after our show last week, you did something that you rarely did. Throughout the couple years that we did our podcast, there were men that came in and out, and you would slowly introduce him. It would first be this guy, and then he would get a name. No, he wouldn't get a name. He would get
Nickname.
a nickname, or like the guy I told you, he works for Budweiser. Like, I would know a vague thing. It would take a while before I got to a picture. You immediately showed me video, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you like this
the
dude?"
dancing video.
Yeah, so I went on a second date to a full weekend wedding with this gentleman. Anyways, I did address it yesterday with him. I went over there, he cooked me dinner, and I said, I don't appreciate being on the B team. And see, this is what I'm talking about. You know, Erica can only help me so much, but she went out of town. And he's like,
How dare her?
He's like, I don't understand. I'm like, obviously you didn't see me this weekend because there was somebody higher up on the roster. And he was like, what are you talking about? He's like, he moved on Friday, like into a new house, and he had like a ton of shit going on. I knew that, but I was like, I just refuse to be on the B team. And he's like, okay, you sound insane. Anyways, I digress. What is on the docket today? Enough
Okay.
about my personal life. You guys don't even know me.
You're not on the B team.
You're on the A team
Here
in
I
this.
am.
Yes, here you are. And in that guy's life too. Trust me, he was just like, I thought I could move into another home that would be nice, and I wanted to make it look nice for you when you came.
Yeah.
And you decided to dead him. So let's do this. Corinne, you know, obviously this generation of teens, like every generation, has had trouble with their coming of age. But instead of going to their parents, they're starting to go to AI.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing? Do you think that's like something that is to be expected? That used to be like, oh, I'm going to go to my aunt that I know smokes weed and dated a black guy in college.
I think, well, Michael Dean wouldn't know this, but I don't believe in therapy. I think it's insane to tell a stranger.
Please look at Michael Dean's face.
Well,
I am like anti-therapy.
Tell us why.
And I feel like telling a stranger like it would take me so long to get this stranger up to date. And then I have to assume that this stranger is qualified enough to give me advice.
Yeah.
And like, I just don't see it. So I do ayahuasca. I do other things that I suppose would help, you know, with this sort of thing.
You see psychics.
I do see psychics.
Okay.
And I have Erica. I don't have a problem with this because I do believe robots are smarter than us. And I think that that's a fair place to go for algorithmic-led advice, which is data-driven. And I actually, when I read that, when you sent me the breakdown, I was like, I'm not opposed to trying this myself.
So they're saying the reason why teens are turning to this is because, like, late night, they're up late.
Yeah.
They have someone who is there and dedicated and available at any time or has something. Also, they say that they feel they are non-judgmental and, always available.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as the first thing. Yeah.
I like that. I mean,
Have you ever seen a therapist?
I had really extreme nightmares as a kid. What they call it, something night terrors, and I would scream in the middle of the night while I was asleep, "Daddy, help me, help me!"
Oh
and
my
parents,
God.
yeah, and we had an intercom system back then, and my parents were like, "All right, somebody's gonna do something here," because I was having like really bad nightmares.
Do you remember them?
Yeah,
Okay.
and they were very repetitive. One of the ones that kept happening was, "Oh, thank you, kind Japan. I am wild." And then, okay, I'm reading some of your comments. Marcy, I do not lack self-confidence. I think I'm fantastic.
I think she was being very sarcastic.
I lack confidence in relationships. I have nothing. Okay, so I went to see a therapist for the night terror thing, and I sat across from this person. I lasted the full session because I had to. It was
Ooh.
and then I walked out and I told my mother, I've tested into the gifted program in first grade. Do not make me sit across from someone that's dumber than me. And my mom was like,
I
all
wish
right.
you had said that to a therapist.
I mean,
wow.
I really was like, this is insane. I'm infinitely. I was.
What
like
did your mom
sixth
say to
grade,
that?
And I was like, I'm so much smarter than this person. She was like, I understand. You don't have to see the person again.
And you never did?
They just shut off the intercom system. So
You can't help what you can't hear.
Yeah, exactly. My parents they were upstairs. They couldn't hear it. So, yeah, that was the only time I went to see a therapist. But no, I mean, everyone that I've ever known that went to therapy is still currently in therapy. Like, there is no real graduation. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's not the only time. Hold on. I have one
There
more
was
example.
the court mandated one.
Right. Anger management.
No, this plays into what I was just saying. Okay, so once upon a time, I did have a boyfriend, like one real boyfriend since I lived in Colorado, which has been like 6 years. And while I was with him, unfortunately, my best friend passed away. That was very traumatic, but he said to me,
Shout out Grace.
Joyce.
Damn it.
Oh, so close.
Damn it.
And he was like, I will not continue dating you if you don't go to therapy. And I was like, I don't need therapy. I'm processing this with my friends. And like, I really, really did not want to go tell a stranger about this. So I agreed to do it because I am a complete girlfriend chameleon, right? Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, I'll do whatever you want. So I go see this therapist, and like I went for a few appointments. The first appointment, it was the full hour. And then the second appointment, he kept giving me homework, and then he's like, okay, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, I don't know. I'm paying you. I will answer things. I don't know what I'm supposed to bring up. And the appointments kept getting shorter and shorter. So it was supposed to be 60 minutes. It was like telehealth because it was during COVID. And they kept getting shorter and shorter. Final appointment, it's like 20 minutes in, and he's like, I got to tell you, I don't think I can help you. So this is going to be our last appointment. And I was like,
He ended it
fired
with
me.
you
Yes.
40 minutes early. He didn't even get the full
And then he
hour.
fired me, and I had to pay the copay. Yeah.
What?
Yes, but this is a real story. Yes. I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
What do you even say to that?
Well,
Okay,
I have to say, like, when I started seeing our couples therapist, she pretty much was like, I haven't decided whether I'm going to see you two or not. I will give you 3 appointments, and we will, we'll see how it goes after that.
What?
And I was like, oh, I really like her. She's kind of badass. She was like, I'm not, I don't take everybody.
She'll take your money for 3 appointments.
I know.
before
I was like,
deciding it.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
What?
yeah.
I will
This
say,
is craziness, what you guys are both saying to me. And that is kind of the cool thing about doing stand-up, especially when you talk for an hour, you're doing a full headline set, is after a while, especially like the late shows where you can talk a little bit longer, you don't have to worry about another show coming. Excuse me, is that like you can have these kind of interesting dialogues. And I mentioned therapy one time. I was in Cincinnati, and I had this really interesting conversation. I was like, can we at least talk about therapy for a second? And you can feel the audience go, yeah. And I was like, it's weird to me that we all exist under the system of capitalism. They are working for an hourly rate, and they're supposed to help me. But if they help me too soon, it affects their money.
Right.
I mean, it's an inherent contradiction that at least exists. I'm not saying it does. Therapy doesn't work and it can't help you get through traumas like losing a friend. But there is this big elephant in the room. Like, if you fix me, you're not. It's like if we're too funny and then all of a sudden we're not allowed to do the podcast, we'll keep it just at the level so we can keep doing the podcast. So I don't know. It seems like an inherent contradiction. Michael Dean, what do you say before we move on?
I grew up in a house with the therapist.
Oh.
Yeah, my mother was a psychiatric nurse, and it was a challenging childhood. It was a lot of, how did you feel about things?
She therapized you at home.
There was lots of therapizing going on, and also because she could prescribe drugs, there was a lot of here.
Wait, what's your mom's number?
Right. There's a pill to fix that.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, it was a little confusing as a teenager, but I think that does kind of cross some ethical lines.
Yeah, well, it crosses ethical lines, but it makes sense because if you are the kind of person that would be led into, being a therapist, I'm not saying that you're a cold person, but I'm saying you probably are a clinical person. And that works everywhere except with your kid. When your kid just wants you to grab him by the hand and be like, yo, I love you, stop effing up. Mm-hmm. But she's like, Corinne, what's probably happening is called the Norman Finkelstein situation. And you're like, I don't want that right now. I want a mom.
I do have one final thought. It is my belief, this is a personal opinion, and is that a lot of people become therapists because they're interested in fixing the problems in their own lives. Mm. And that maybe might mean that a lot of therapists are
internally
have issues on their own.
Yeah.
That doesn't
they
necessarily
have to.
mean,
We all do.
Right, I know, but have serious trauma or mental health issues or other things. And I'm not saying that you can't do your job if you have those things, but I think it's interesting.
Well, in summation, I'll totally try this AI thing.
Okay. Well, it just we were talking about your issues, and I just want you to share this with our night owls because it might be the story that I've always felt over all the hours that we've talked most illuminates like how you handle situations. You were at a doctor's office and there was two women watching their phones with no earbuds. Do you remember this?
Oh.
And you got up.
I'm sure I would have said something.
And you left the waiting room and you went where to go to sleep? Do you remember that you went to the billing office?
Oh, yes. I'm sorry.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
I was
so
like, you're leaving too much of the story out. Yeah, no. Okay, I wasn't there. I was thinking on a professional capacity. No, I was there doing I think it was like a pre-hysterectomy thing. And yeah, it was. I had to get like a CT scan or something. And it was a woman sitting there just fully on speakerphone. And I went to the front desk and I was like, I can't listen to this. Do you have a back office that I can sit in if no one's going to tell her this is inappropriate? And they were like, okay. And I was like, is there a billing office? And then I went to the billing office, and then I'm just sitting in the billing office because it was like private from this idiot in the waiting room. And I was like, this is like basically me finding out like what the depths of the problem that I needed the hysterectomy for. It's like a serious thing. And then the person who works in billing shows up.
Oh no.
And gets to her office and she's like, hello. And I was like, hi, I'm just going to sit here until my appointment. I don't plan on being in the waiting room. So I just sat across from her in silence. She typed on her computer, and then they came to get me when the appointment was ready.
That's Corinne. Yeah. She just goes to the billing office if you don't like it. I wish I had had your gumption this weekend when Sarah and I were traveling and we were in the lounge. There was just a guy in there just watching his phone, full blast.
No.
The entire, like in the lounge, Michael Dean. Oh. What is it with the no earbuds? That is as crazy to me as like the people that get labeled crazy, like some guy on the street corner yelling. Yes, that is crazy. But you just going, you know what? I think everybody in this room needs to know that I'm going to watch The Family Feud with Steve Harvey. Full blast. It's craziness. Speaking of craziness.
Yeah, what else we got?
We lost Robert Redford.
Oh.
I didn't know we had him.
He is one of those guys that you're not sure it's a James Earl Jones situation where like you could find out like he's alive or not alive and you wouldn't be shocked. But Robert Redford, 89 years of being a stone cold hottie.
Yeah, he was a really big leading man for a number of years.
Right. Michael Dean, favorite
see.
Robert Redford movie?
You know, it was one that he directed. I really liked what the quiz show or the
Can you go down the list of like what he directed and starred in, just the big ones?
okay.
And Corinne, do you know anything about
Well, before we sat down, he was like, are you comfortable? What stories do you like? And he asked me about Robert Redford, and I said, oh yeah, the gay one. And he's like, and I was like, no, he's gay. And then he's like, no, he's been married, he has like 5 kids. So I have confused him with someone else.
Who do you think you were confusing him with?
It's my aunt is obsessed with. I thought it was Robert Redford. It's somebody else, but he's
Liberace?
no. But it's a gay man because I remember her being very disappointed. Like she had a chance with him anyway when she found out, and I somehow conflated that with Robert Redford. So, all right.
So I'm
Robert,
assuming you don't celebrate his catalog.
I had to find out on the same day that you were dead that you're also not gay, and they are equally disappointing.
That's amazing. All right.
But I mean, he started alongside like a bunch of really big, stars that are still, out there. Let's see. I've got somewhere in here. I've got
I know
on the
he
list.
did Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid.
Barbara Streisand.
The Natural.
No. You can't just say Barbara Streisand. What did he do with Barbara Streisand? Because I might know it.
Hold on. Where is all
Yeah,
this?
you're sitting next to a Jewish woman, Michael.
I am so sorry.
Take your time. Anybody else in the chat?
Yeah,
No.
does anyone
Yes,
know?
I said, Marcy, I said Butch Cassidy and The Natural. What Nick, do you know any Robert Redford movies? Looking them up right now. Wow. I thought we'd have these.
Well, this is a
I
great
thought I had
memorial.
all of this.
Well, he's a little older, so like I feel like his heyday was like he was a leading man. I wonder who was next. Maybe like Pierce Brosnan, who was the next like good-looking guy, and then
we're talking about somebody that was a love interest to Barbara Streisand. So these are.
She wrote about him in her biography.
Oh.
All right, well, let's come back to that since you guys are stomping all over his memorial. Nick Cannon, Michael Dean.
Oh boy.
He said that having 12 kids was a trauma response. Now, what can we attribute that to? What were his thoughts on that?
Oh, sorry. Let's see. Barefoot in the Park was one. We also have The Property is Condemned. No, that's not it. That's great. So I've got one. Out of Africa was with Meryl Streep. What else? Horse Whisperer.
Oh, so here, Julia's got it. He created Sundance. That's the thing you talk about.
Did
when you
he
talk about
really?
Redford. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay, Cynthia said the three of us are so young. Can Nick, can you just put that on repeat?
Yeah,
Thank you
seriously.
for saying that. I needed that. Yes. All right, let's get to this because Marquita has already moved on to the story we're about to tackle. Nick Cannon, yes, he has 12 kids. 12.
The way we were.
Oh, he made The Way We Were. Okay.
All right.
So 12 kids. Let me ask you, how many siblings? You one?
I have one brother.
I am an only child.
Only child. Okay.
That's the problem.
I found my adopted sister later in life, and I had an adopted sister that came to our family when she was 5 and I was 3. So I have three siblings. Weirdly,
You know what my parents have never called me? A trauma response.
that's a rough one. Is that a rough one now that your kids can read?
I don't want to assume that that's a cause to see a therapist, but I feel like if your father is famous and he is famous for telling the world that you were a trauma response, you're gonna have some issues.
Do you think that was irresponsible for him to even say that? Because your kids can read the internet. It's not something you said in the back of a cookout, like, oh, I shouldn't have had the last 3.
I don't know how you explain that to your kid. What does that even mean? I mean, I understand what a trauma response is, like it's a coping technique, but I don't understand how having kids, I mean, it's a fear of abandonment or...
I have a friend. This is the only thing I can liken this to, and I don't know if this is what's going on with him, but I have a friend who he's from a foreign country, and he went to college with me, and he was like very separated from his family for a really long time. Like in Thanksgivings, he would come home, with me because he couldn't, he was really, really far from his family. And when he got married, I thought they weren't going to have any kids because they were like world travelers, him and his wife. Right. And no, he started having kids. He's on his 5th kid. And I was like, what
and
is
how many
you
years?
doing? Like 6 years. I mean, they keep having kids and there's no religious thing going on. And he's like, I just felt like I didn't have enough family around me growing up. And I wanted to build the biggest family I could. And so, he's successful and stuff. But I I don't know because Nick's not like living with these children, so I'm not sure.
No, and I
that
think
it's the same thing.
that I think you hit it on the head, girl. First of all, that's a really smart way to look at it. If you don't have family, you literally create it out of whole cloth. And secondly, whatever, it's weird to think that like somebody that is as talented as Nick Cannon, as considered good looking and rich as Nick Cannon, might have self-esteem issues. I think a lot of reasons why people have kids is because they look up to you. It's like your own tribe, your own progeny of just like, that's like when George Foreman, rest in peace, like named all his kids George or Georgina and all that kind of stuff. It seems like there's a narcissistic kind of like, these people all came from me. I heard somebody say one time, like, think about the life sentence it would be to be called Frank Sinatra Jr.
Yeah.
And like you have to go through life knowing that you're the second best version of that person. It seems like a difficult thing to do and almost seems purposeful.
So wait, can I tell you a little bit about what he said? So he was on the Breakfast Club and he says, I just didn't do the work. So then I looked up 12 kids later and I'm like, wow, I could have done things differently. And then he says, but I stand firm on all my decisions because I love my kids.
Okay.
I love my family infrastructure, but I
There
know
isn't one.
but I know it all started from a place of pain and not really healing properly. And then he goes on to say, it wasn't like I was acting out. It was more of being careless, being frivolous with my process because I could do it, because I had the money, because I had the access to whoever and however I wanted to move.
He didn't like wearing condoms.
Yeah.
It was
Right,
inconvenient.
but don't wear
His
condoms
process.
with one woman.
No.
It
He was just-
intentionally going out and seating a bunch of women, especially when like he must have like kids that are like the same age.
Yes, but the craziest thing of all of this is he was married to Mariah Carey. He had a normal situation with like that queen. He had 2 kids, and he could just like he really just popped off after that.
That's a great,
Right? Like
that's
he
a
was
great
normal
point.
for a minute.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a really good point because he really seemed like he embraced like traditional fatherhood, traditional is like
That
being
was
married
his,
to
like-
the queen of our
Yeah.
time. But then all of a sudden, as soon as he leaves, and I'll be honest, when I got out of my relationship, Al Jackson strolled out and got himself a little 26-year-old, and that didn't work out great. And so I think you do see that a lot with guys that get out of relationships because if the relationship is not going well and you haven't done enough internal work, you say, well, she's holding me back. They're holding me back. So as soon as you get out of that relationship, you're like, what's up, world? And the world's like, what's up,
But
old
it's
man?
a crazy thing because you take a guy with money that's like just gonna raw dog everybody, and then a bunch of women that are trying to get that money with anchor babies, and you put those 2 things together, and now you've got 12 children,
Right.
and you're sitting on the Breakfast Club talking about trauma.
I mean, does he have that much money? Does he have 12
No, I don't think he
child
does.
support? That's a lot of money.
It's not just child support. Like that's 12 households. Like
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
because
you got to support the mama too, and just like keep her in the lifestyle that she's used to. So that means he's probably paying out $600,000 a month.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
he have that kind of?
I wasn't aware of that.
wow. So this was with AI. It says that in May of 2023 interview with the Los Angeles Times, Cannon stated that his lifestyle requires him to generate at least $100 million a year.
Well, that's not going to last very long. He
what
can't
is he
do
playing
that.
for the
until they're
Yankees?
18?
He's not Robert Redford. Like, what do you mean? He's doing like Wild and Out and like, right?
Yeah,
Like,
MTV famously doesn't pay. Now, granted,
No.
I'm sure he got a great chunk of change because MTV just picked like 3 shows and they played them
Yeah.
over. They just play Wild and Out and Ridiculousness over and over again. So I'm sure even if like let's say he got 80 million from that, like 12 kids eating into that 80
He's not
million
getting
with
that year
taxes.
over year.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow. Wow.
Like that's a lot of dough. Like you could go. He's probably going through 2 million a month every couple months.
And also imagine being the first 2, Rock and Roe. And I always remember that because I thought it was like the cutest. One's name's Monroe, one's Morocco. They call them Rock and Roe. The twins, dumb babies. Remember when Mariah was pregnant? We
yeah.
were all invested in this. Those poor kids. I mean, thankfully their mother's Mariah, but like they are long forgotten. Like, I mean, they are 10 kids ago.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean that.
speaking of Mariah, she just announced that she's doing a Christmas time residency in Las Vegas,
That's smart.
which is really smart at
I
Park
mean-
MGM.
I mean, well, let's get to that because Vegas and Christmas time. I know Vegas during the summer, Vegas, I know that their attendance
Horrible.
is way down.
Horrible.
Way down. Vegas is hot and expensive now. You used to be able to trick people to go to Vegas because the drinks were free. So Vegas, let's fix that, because no one's going to the desert to pay prices that, what am I, at the effing bowling alley? Like, I want free drinks to make bad decisions. I
Yeah.
don't want to charge for my drinks and then go make bad decisions on top of that.
I would really like her to write a memoir that includes no other information than the insides of this marriage. I don't give a shit about this residency, but like, I'll take a pamphlet on whatever happened between you and Nick Cannon.
Okay, besides
Do we
Blink
know
82.
why they broke up? Is that like, I don't
think it was on good terms.
I mean, he might have been beginning his trauma response. 'Cause I think Mariah seemed like she was happy. Mariah wasn't like I got to get up out of here. I think it was Nick Cannon. There was a part of a lot of men, and I'm speaking for myself, where once you have kids, it's this weird referendum on like, I didn't know that there was another life besides being Party and Al. So I felt like having kids, having a wife, I felt anchored. Now I would kill. I love being anchored now. I love having a place to go. But when you're young, you're like, oh, I can't hang out till 3:30 in the morning. No. And it's hard for dudes that have been doing that, or people in general, to then leave that lifestyle. You feel trapped, and then you break out, and then you really, it's almost like when you relapse, when you can finally go back to that life, and then you really go hard. And I
Yeah.
think that's what he did.
So
Wow.
she does have a 2020 memoir where she did talk about this, and this is AI again, saying it was the meaning of Mariah Carey, and she acknowledged the egos and emotions inflamed the situation.
I
That's-
can see
That's,
that.
Okay,
that's not the right kind of memoir you're looking for.
It is not. No, give us
What-
the actual situation.
You want all
sis.
the tea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides Blink 182, would there be you're obsessed with them?
I am.
Like, weirdly, if anything ever happens, I might make a call to the FBI.
Yeah. We went over this. I read Mark Hoppus's horrible memoir. It was so disappointing, but I made it to the end.
Would you go see
It was like
anybody
36
but them at a
chapters.
Oh my
residency?
God.
Would I see anybody at a residency?
Besides Blink 182.
I would be really sad if Blink 182 did a Vegas residency. I
Why?
think it's the end of your career. I really
Oh,
like.
really?
I don't. They did not. No. When?
And you call yourself a fan.
I don't know if he's right. I think he's making this up.
I don't think. He's
You
like,
went
I
to
was
it.
there.
I did not know
You
that.
still want to question him? That's,
Well, that's very upsetting to
Yeah,
me.
it was Kings of the Weekend residency in Las Vegas at the Palms Casino
okay,
Resort.
so it was like one weekend.
It was a 16-show series in 2018.
and you missed it.
Oh, that's so upsetting.
Oh.
I think it's like notating the end of your career. It's a good career if you got a residency,
Right.
But it's the end of your career. Like, you're not going to come out with new music. And honestly, that probably marked. I mean,
Well, how
was
many
around-
people come out with new music? Like, that's the one thing that, like, on behalf of stand-ups, we have so much beef with music people.
Yeah, 'cause
because you can make one
keep
dope album.
running it back,
Hall
yeah.
& Oates, one dope album, one or two. No shade, Hall & Oates, one of my favorite bands of all time. But they ain't making any new music, and they can go on tour until the end of time. A comic, you go on tour and you don't have a brand new hour, people will be in the audience, heard that one.
You know, I really disagree with you, because now music, you're not making money on streaming or
Mm-hmm.
on the actual song. You're making money on the tours, and you need to have a new album of work to go and tour with. And
Did you buy Lionel Richie's last album?
No, I didn't. But like, I definitely listened to Beyonce's new album over
But
and over
she's still
again.
a current artist. I'm talking about
I
like
know.
a
Oh,
hit
you-
maker from like 80s, 90s. Like if you go see Alanis Morissette, most people have not
She
bought her
actually
last
just had
album.
a new tour because she had a new album out.
Was it good? She seems like a songwriter. Bad
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
But I think a lot of people that's got like 4 hits, 8 hits,
yeah.
Yeah.
they're not making new music. And when they do try and make new music,
It's
people are like,
yeah.
stop, do the stuff we came to hear.
Yeah. This isn't that new, but Billy Joel came out with a new song not that long ago, in the last year, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very good.
Didn't they debut it after the Oscars?
I think you're right.
I don't know, but it's very good, and he's just like not getting any love for it. And this is why the man doesn't make new music.
But also,
He's not really going to get anything better out now than what he's already created.
I'm going to say this in defense of the music artists. I think that music, for a large part, is a time capsule to your youth. And so when you hear Blink 182 or I hear Biggie or Bone Thugs and Harmony,
Well, these
I'm
people are
thinking,
dead.
Right? Yes, but that's what I'm saying. A lot of people from my youth are dead.
Have you listened to Ice-T's new album?
No, and I will not. Is it good?
I mean, I heard a song off of it the other day.
Was it good?
It's old, like it's kind of old school. It's like a throwback. I kind of enjoyed it. Yes.
Okay, so I mean, there are very few artists that their audience will allow them to make new music. They're
Yeah.
like, I want you to stay 1998, Corinne. I don't want 2025 singing about the administration. I want you singing about your first breakup. So I don't know. It's a battle between the artists and the people that love them. All right, Michael Dean, Justin Bieber laid out 10 rules for the Bieber family. Is it like that sitcom? Remember, was it 8 Rules to Date My Daughter with John Ritter? Remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think he died during that.
He did. He died during the filming of that show.
Really sad. Yeah, so he posted like this is the Bieber family values.
Yeah.
And there were 10 things on it, just like there are 10 commandments. And here they go. It's one is we value rest as worship.
Okay,
value-
Corinne, what do you take from that?
That's something a very rich person would say.
Yes, when you're not also driving Uber.
Yeah, like my take is like, you'll sleep when you're dead. Is like more like that was on my wall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, the next is we value longevity and a sustainable pace of life.
Again, sounds like some
It's
rich
gibberish.
people stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like one of those things that like people say at retreats, and everybody that's on the beach in Tulum that's worth $3.8 million goes, you know what? I am going to take more time to relax. It's like, good for you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm only doing organic.
Then we've got they value the quality and excellence of production. It's kind of weird. How do kids relate to that?
It's so cringy. Like, just if this is on your wall at home, let it just stay on your wall at home. Like, let's not share this.
And we also we value innovation and moving the human experience forward.
Who are they, Oracle?
You guys, now I'm envisioning the two of them in front of a whiteboard, like doing like, like what we do in like sales meetings where you're like, okay, how about this? Longevity and like, all right, Haley, that was good. That's going on the board.
Then we've got we value health and physical wellness as an act of stewardship. We value.
I don't think they know what any of these words mean.
No, I don't know what they mean.
Well, I have a question about one of the words in here. We're almost there. We value sustainability and creating products that serve humanity. We value servanthood and making people feel like they can fly.
Wait, what? Well, you know what? You guys haven't made me feel like I can fly
This
today
is-
or ever.
This is why in every point of recorded history, eventually the proletariat rises up and kills the rich. Because they keep saying shit like this in your face when you're like, my daughter died from the plague. I don't
From
know.
measles.
Yeah, there was some kind of. My husband was in a terrible weed pulling accident, and like you're telling people, Corinne, here, if you want to get your life together, you need to focus on innovation and making the right products to power a better generation. What are you, a space aeronautics company? Why are they
I don't
so
know.
What is
sterile?
servanthood? Can you
I'm
explain what
assuming-
is meant by that?
He's very religious. It's got to be something with
Like, are you a
serving the
servant of
Lord.
God? Is that what it is?
I don't know why that goes in the same sentence as whatever the
Making people feel like they
they
can
can
fly.
fly. Yeah, see, those two things don't go together. But like Brandon said,
That sounds
this
like a
totally sounds like a
creepy
team
thing.
building brainstorm. Yes.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, then we got generosity and graciously giving time, money, and respect to the people on our path. We value life as a gift and practice daily gratitude for the day that has been given us. And then we value human beings and believe in their dignity and eternal worth.
See, it's that's more the religious stuff, the eternal worth. This is embarrassing.
Yeah.
Just continue getting tattoos and dancing shirtless at concerts. Like, don't do this.
Yeah.
This isn't what we want.
Because here's why that doesn't make any sense. Unless you're going to say something that's going to resonate with people, like if you came out and you said, hey, I know I'm Corinne and I'm super famous, but I tell you, in this family, we play hard, we drink hard, and we F hard, and then we go to work. Like, that would resonate with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Even if the words aren't as polished. But when you start talking to people like you're an AI robot, people don't like that, and it makes them push away from you because they're like, this is a source of disinformation because nobody
It's not authentic at
actually
all.
talks like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to start talking to the people in a real way, or don't talk. No one's asking
Also,
you to do that.
I just want to remind everyone, it's not as though his child is 1. This kid can't read. So if we're trying to raise the child in a house with these like pretend laws.
Yeah. This is the Hollywood that is demonized on the right for being out of touch. I just think that I just wish there was more of a lane for regular folks. I meet people after comedy shows and they tell me such cool stuff that they do, cool things they do with their wife on Sundays to keep their life spicy. I remember when after my ex Merritt stole all my stuff and I was really like disillusioned with human beings and trusting anybody the way that I did. I went to Home Depot. That's the old man stomping ground. And this guy, I was looking in the lights, this guy that worked there came over and we were talking about lights and he was like, we get this one and me and my wife on Sundays, you know, we turn it to this color, we twist up a little weed and we talk about the week. And it just, that weird conversation I had was so direct and eye contact like we're making, it reminded me that like not everybody's shitty like her. And there's somebody else out there that I can find to connect with and turn my lights down with and be like, how the fuck you doing, girl? Tell me about your day. And it reaffirmed my like affinity for human beings again. And I don't think he knew he did that. Bless you. So,
Thank you.
and like, look at you now. You found your man.
Oh, I don't know about that. Jesus Christ. No, don't say that.
When are you bringing him around?
I don't know.
Ooh.
It's going to have to be a minute.
I'm
You know what's
Have
going to
you done
happen?
media training yet?
This is what's going to happen. Tori, Erica, Jeff, Sam, and Michael Dean are out of town. And I was like, can you just bring the guy?
bring him in.
We need somebody.
It seems like he's like one of us though. Cause you don't, the
We'll see.
the guys that
He
hang
had the
around,
moves.
sometimes it doesn't work because relationships are about timing. It's about where that person is in their life and where you are. So it's very difficult to make it work. But it's not like the guys that hung around, we eventually realized they sucked. It may have ended, but it ended for like a legitimate reason, you know? So like if he's still hanging around, he made it through elimination weekend that you try to
He
have.
did. I don't know, but it's literally been. I like I said, our second date we went away to a wedding together, so we have hung out for like 3 weeks.
You
so.
didn't think that was like too much of a commitment to take him to a wedding?
I didn't take him. He took me. And he had a
Oh.
really nice like setup at this wedding. Like it was a really nice, yeah.
But that does that mean something in
Yeah,
a
I was like,
woman's mind?
here's a guy that's trying to actually get to know me, and it just, yeah, I was like very into it, and we had a great time.
Yeah.
And then
Did
I
you
lost.
like his friends?
Yes, and what's strange is
Ooh.
that he, it was a lesbian wedding, and when he gave my name to one of the brides, he had to give my name for the placard, you know?
Yeah.
She goes, "That's my pharmaceutical rep." And
Really?
It turns out it's one of my
I
clients.
thought she knew you from Survivor.
No, that's what I thought.
That's
when
also so cool.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. And so, and then the bride's mother is a huge Survivor fan, so she was like, and it was a small, like 60-person wedding. It was really lovely. But like, look, nothing has ever worked out for me in my entire life. So I realized that, the data would suggest this too will not work out. So everyone forget that I talked about this on this episode.
All right, we're not going to let you forget your happiness. But before we
So
leave Michael
fleeting.
Dean, I do want to squeeze this story in.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's squeeze it in. Let's talk about divorce.
Oh,
Yes, I want to.
you want to? You want to save this for Friday?
Let's save it for Friday. Michael Dean, he always keeps us on track. And here's how I know that Michael Dean was letting me know that we've gone an hour, because I go, Michael Dean, let's talk about divorce, and he was like this.
I've had to be the person. I've been in that situation before.
All right,
it's-
all right. We will save it for
it's a
Friday.
tease.
Yes,
Yeah,
we're going to
yeah.
talk about divorce on Friday with Corinne. You're going to stay and join us Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
The
So,
divorce myth.
yes, we're going to talk about the divorce myth on Friday. In between now and then, Coco, tell the people where they can find you.
Yes, please go follow my podcast. It's called Where's My Spinoff? I do it with Brittany Haynes, who was on Traitors and Big Brother and The Amazing Race. And you can find me on Instagram at Corinsanity, CORINSANITY. And I'm pretty responsive, so hit me up on there.
Yes, she responds. She checks her stuff.
I do.
We were just looking at the clip that you had, Corinne, where you unknowingly insulted your co-host by saying that somebody had a
Yeah.
small. She was like, "I don't like her. She's got really small proportions." And
Yes.
what,
I was talking about Sabrina Carpenter, and I was like, I just don't get it. It's like fetishizing a child. She's too small. And Brittany's like, she and I are the exact same height.
Yes. But you were like, yeah, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
I love you so much. I love when you're here. Guys, you know where to find me and Tori, who's now back stateside. Yes, please. Thank you, Brandon. Hit the like button, please. And also tell a friend, if you enjoy this show, send it to somebody that you like because they're like you and they're like-minded, and we always need
That's not how you spell
more
it.
night
Oh,
outs.
it's not? Oh my God.
Okay, Corinne.
I
Okay,
spelled
that's
it
not how
wrong.
you spell Corinne.
Well,
what is it? Missing
It's
an-
just insanity with the COR in front of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Poor
I think
sanity.
You made it
Oh.
insanity.
my bad. I
so wait
apologize.
till we
Here
get
we
the-
go. We're going to get it right.
We're going to get the new handle up there, but in the meantime, follow friends from work and watch us every day streaming at 3 o'clock on YouTube Mountain Time, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and watch Daytime Talk After Dark every Tuesday and Friday. You can't get rid of us. There's the new handle. And I will say this, Night Owls, we out. Hoot, hoot.
I thought I was going to get to do that today.
Oh, Night Owls.
Hoot hoot!
Now, first and last time.